2 Chronicles. Chapter 34. Josiah was 8 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned in Jerusalem 31 years. And he did uprightly in the sight of the Lord, and walked in the ways of David his father, and bowed neither to the right hand nor to the left. And in the 8th year of his reign, when he was yet a child, he began to seek after the God of David his father. And in the 12th year he began to purge Judah and Jerusalem from the high places, and the groves, and the carved images, and molten images. And they brake down in his sight the altars of Baal, and he caused to cut down the images that were on high upon them. He brake also the groves, and the carved images, and the molten images, and stamped them to powder, and strowed it upon the graves of them that had sacrificed unto them. Also he burnt the bones of the priests upon their altars, and purged Judah and Jerusalem. And in the cities of Manasseh, and Ephraim, and Simeon, even unto Naphtali, with their malls they brake all round about. And when he had destroyed the altars, and the groves, and had broken and stamped to powder the images, and had cut down all the idols throughout all the land of Israel, he returned to Jerusalem. Then in the 18th year of his reign, when he had purged the land and the temple, he sent Shaphan, the son of Azaliah, and Maaseiah, the governor of the city, and Joah, the son of Joahaz, the recorder, to repair the house of the Lord his God. And when they came to Hilkiah the priest, they delivered the money that was brought into the house of God, which the Levites that kept the door had gathered, at the hand of Manasseh and Ephraim, and of all the residue of Israel, and of all Judah and Benjamin, and of the inhabitants of Jerusalem. And they put it in the hands of them that should do the work, and had the oversight in the house of the Lord. And they gave it to the workmen that wrought in the house of the Lord to repair and amend the house. Even to the workmen and to the builders gave they it to buy hewed stone and timber for couples, and for beams of the houses which the kings of Judah had destroyed. And the men did work faithfully, and the overseers of them were Jahath and Obadiah the Levites, of the children of Merari, and Zechariah and Meshullam of the children of the Kohathites, to set it forward. And of the Levites all that could skill of instruments of music. And they were over the bearers of burdens, and them that set forward all the workmen in every work. And of the Levites were scribes, and officers, and porters. And when they brought out the money that was brought into the house of the Lord, Hilkiah the priest found the book of the law of the Lord given by the hand of Moses. Therefore Hilkiah answered and said to Shaphan the chancellor, I have found the book of the law in the house of the Lord. And Hilkiah gave the book to Shaphan, and Shaphan carried the book to the king, and brought the king word again, saying, All that is committed to the hand of thy servant, that do they. For they have gathered the money that was found in the house of the Lord, and have delivered it into the hands of the overseers, and to the hands of the workmen. Also Shaphan the chancellor declared to the king, saying, Hilkiah the priest hath given me a book. And Shaphan read it before the king. And when the king had heard the words of the law, he tare his clothes. And the king commanded Hilkiah, and Ahikam the son of Shaphan, and Abdon the son of Micah, and Shaphan the chancellor, and Asaiah the king's servant, saying, Go and inquire of the Lord for me, and for the rest in Israel and Judah, concerning the words of this book that is found. For great is the wrath of the Lord that is fallen upon us, because our fathers have not kept the word of the Lord, to do after all that is written in this book. Then Hilkiah and they that the king had appointed went to Huldah, the prophetess, the wife of Shallum, the son of Tokath, the son of Hazra, keeper of the wardrobe. And she dwelt in Jerusalem within the college, and they communed hereof with her. And she answered them, Thus saith the Lord God of Israel, Tell ye the man that sent you to me, Thus saith the Lord, Behold, I will bring evil upon this place, and upon the inhabitants thereof, even all the curses that are written in the book which they have read before the king of Judah, because they have forsaken me, and burnt incense unto other gods, to anger me with all the works of their hands. Therefore shall my wrath fall upon this place, and shall not be quenched. But to the king of Judah, who sent you to inquire of the Lord, so shall ye say unto him, Thus saith the Lord God of Israel, The words which thou hast heard shall come to pass. But because thine heart did melt, and thou didst humble thyself before God, when thou heardest his words against this place, and against the inhabitants thereof, and humbledst thyself before me, and tearest thy clothes, and weptest before me, I have also heard it, saith the Lord. Behold, I will gather thee to thy fathers, and thou shalt be put in thy grave in peace. And thine eyes shall not see all the evil which I will bring upon this place, and upon the inhabitants of the same. Thus they brought the king word again. Then the king sent and gathered all the elders of Judah and Jerusalem. And the king went up into the house of the Lord, and all the men of Judah, and the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and the priests, and the Levites, and all the people from the greatest to the smallest. And he read in their ears all the words of the book of the covenant that was found in the house of the Lord. And the king stood by his pillar, and made a covenant before the Lord, to walk after the Lord, and to keep his commandments, and his testimonies, and his statutes, with all his heart, and with all his soul, and that he would accomplish the words of the covenant written in the same book. And he caused all that were found in Jerusalem and Benjamin to stand to it. And the inhabitants of Jerusalem did according to the covenant of God, even the God of their fathers. So Josiah took away all the abominations out of all the countries that pertained to the children of Israel, and compelled all that were found in Israel to serve the Lord their God. So all his days they turned not back from the Lord God of their fathers.